Don, da da don, don, don. Historically, I personally have not been a fan of Don Lemon, right? I think that Don Lemon, to an extent, is a person that leans too heavily into his liberal views. I think that Don Lemon has warranted a lot of smoke, even though I have not covered a lot of Don Lemon. Don Lemon, to an extent, kind of sticks to whatever it is that the network, in a general sense, is requiring for him to talk about. Yes, this is live, Ray Meester. Hey, don't y'all love it when somebody say, "Is this live?" But it's actually live when it says it's live on YouTube. What y'all think I do? A pre-record and then I go live? I play it as a live on YouTube? No, I don't do that. Shout out to Ray said, "Is this live?" Yes, this is live. Okay. I am going live earlier today to make sure that I add value for the people that wouldn't be able to see me live at 11:30 Eastern, simply because that's the time that we usually go live, but I got to go and catch a flight and I got to go and check out my Airbnb. So in order to try to make sure I accommodate y'all, especially the people that's going to watch on replay, I went live a little bit earlier today to be able to give y'all a treat. But let's continue. Don Lemon. Recently, I've been listening to Don Lemon, and I actually had another video that I wanted to play for you guys. But when I seen this come across my desk yesterday, I said, oh no, we got to have this conversation. Oh no, we got to have this conversation. I believe that Don Lemon is not really liberal. More importantly, I think that Don Lemon isn't a simp. I know that's a hard pill to swallow. I know that's a lot for y'all to be able to take in, but hear me out. I believe that Don Lemon, that is on CNN, historically a horrible network, especially when it comes to how it is that they cover presidential races and how they covered the Trump administration. I don't believe that Don Lemon is a liberal. I don't believe that Don Lemon is a simp. I don't believe that Don Lemon is blue pill. I think that Don Lemon is a chameleon in a good way. I think that Don Lemon is a chameleon in a good way. I think Don is doing what Don got to do to go over there and get that bag from CNN because they the network that pay him. And so he kind of got that bag chaser mentality, and he's saying, yo, I got to go over here and get this money. But every once in a while, and I say this on a regular basis, when you let somebody talk long enough, they start to reveal who they are. Now, when we say they start to reveal who they are, who is Don exactly? I think that it's important for us to actually have this conversation because Don specifically went at Nikki Haley. I believe that's her name, Nikki Haley. And she's a presidential candidate on the Republican side. Now, a lot of y'all really don't understand this, but just because somebody says that they're running on conservative values and on a Republican ticket does not mean that we have to align with them. We have to align with them or we got to rock with them. There's other things that we need to evaluate and vet effectively, which is one of the reasons why it's so easy for y'all to be able to be taken over into the Democratic plantation, because y'all vote based off of party lines instead of voting based off of policy and whether or not the person is a effective candidate for president. I personally don't believe that any woman should be president. Don apparently has an opinion about this. Shout out to the Clue channel. I'm reading super chats shortly. All right, Clue. I think we should go ahead and roll the tape. Don had some specific things that he wanted to say about this woman presidential candidate, and I think that we should go ahead and have a conversation. Let's continue.
So with us now, Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley, former U.S. ambassador to the UN and former governor of South Carolina, a key state for presidential primaries. I understand you're in New Hampshire this morning, so welcome to our program. It's been a big week to you, for you, and I want to get to all this now. First of all, Joe Biden, the president, called Peter Alexander of NBC News after the press conference from yesterday. Here is one of the quotes that was given and made public. I think the last thing that G wants is to fundamentally rip the relationship with the United States and with me. He kind of said that, too, in his statement on camera. What did you think? Was that sufficient, and was it worth the wait?
You know, it's the idea that we would sit there and look to the sky and have a Chinese spy balloon looking back at us is a national embarrassment. The problem is that we have to start treating China like they deserve to be treated. And Biden is asleep at the wheel. You can't have them buying up farmland that's near our military installations. You can't have them putting money in our universities unless we're going to go pull our money and tell universities you either take Chinese money or you take ours. We can't have them stealing intellectual property. And when it comes to this balloon flying over, you've got to start letting China know what we expect of them, not worry about whether they want to keep a relationship or not. That's not what this is about. We have to start treating China the way they should. For Republicans and Democrats for too long thought that if we were nice to China, they would want to be like us. They don't want to be like us. They are communists. We need to start getting our act together and start making sure that they know where they stand, not that we have to worry about where we stand with them.
Ambassador.
Sounds good, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen? I mean, it sounds good. I'm tough on China. Foreign relations. We need to let them know who's boss. You know where I've seen this happen? Where I see this play out on a regular basis? I see this happen right here on the internet. We have different women that come into these spaces and they chameleons. And you know what I can do? I can spot them immediately. There's chameleons right now. But because I'm a nice guy and because I have no vested interest in seeing a lot of these women go down in flames, I don't necessarily say anything. I wait, and I'm a patient person, and then eventually somebody will reveal themselves, and then we'll address it and deal with it accordingly. But I'm not going to hold somebody accountable for something that they don't yet say. Let me say that again. I'm not going to hold somebody accountable for something that they don't yet say. I can see through with the body language, with the history, with how people operate, who they truly are. And we have a lot of chameleons. We got a lot of chameleons. Answer me this question. Do you think that this woman should be the leader of the free world? Should this woman be the leader of the United States of America? That's not why we're here. We're not here vetting presidential candidates yet. We will get to that. We will absolutely positively get to that much, much later. It's not time yet. We're going to get to that later. This is about Don Lemon. Let's continue. Let's get into the Don.
Haley, great to have you this morning and good to see you. Following up on that, were you aware, I mean, in recent years of, or under the last administration, of these balloons? I mean, this administration's confirming that this is not new for China to have this program. And that they're only developing it to be bigger and bigger. So what exactly did we know about this in the past? And what have we been doing about it?
So that goes to the heart of another problem. Why did our intelligence agencies know this? And why did they not tell the President of the United States? Why did they not tell other cabinet directors that could do something about it? That is a problem. We have to go look into our intelligence communities.
Ma'am. And see, this is where it gets disingenuous. And this is where they just continue to give y'all talking points. What they've done from a political perspective is that they've started to dumb things down to us. And they're easily able and they're coached on how to go about spinning a narrative so that they don't actually answer the question. The reality is that everybody knows everything, and it's nothing that sneaks past our Congress or our president's nose that they don't necessarily know about. But let's continue. I want to get to a specific part of this video.
And let them know they don't get to decide these things. If they have information like this, this is valuable national security information that we need to know. They should have told us that. Because right now we've allowed Chinese spy balloons to go over. You know, when it ended in South Carolina, that wasn't an accident. South Carolina is a military state. That balloon went over our military installations. And the idea that other balloons did that before means we not only have a China problem, we have a government problem in the fact that NORAD should have picked up on this balloon, but our intelligence community should have told those decision makers exactly what was happening from China so we could have dealt with this earlier.
Okay, there's another topic here. You got on the news yesterday for a very different reason. I know it's a big turn away from Beijing and Washington, D.C. politics.
Super chat shortly.
This was a comment that happened about 24 hours earlier on CNN. This is how it went.
This whole talk about age makes me uncomfortable. I think it's the wrong road to go down. She says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maying 40s.
What are you talking? Wait.
That's not according to me.
Prime for what?
Sound like Don Lemon been listening to Kevin Samuels lately. Sound like Don Lemon been rocking out with Jason Whitlock. Sound like Don Lemon been listening to Anton and Angry Man and everybody else that's in the sphere. Sound like Don Lemon is red pill. Sound like Don Lemon is red pill. Listen, what y'all seeing right now, and I'm going to play the rest of this. I'm going to rewind it a little bit. What y'all seeing right now. Good morning, honey. How are you doing? I like your shirt. What Don Lemon, ladies and gentlemen, is doing is he having a conversation on a network where he's actually going against Nikki Haley, right? He doesn't like her. He doesn't like her talking points. He's leaning into the liberal mindset. He's advocating from a Democratic perspective and saying that, yo, she don't know what she's talking about. I'm going at her. What you're witnessing right here, though, even though he has two female co-hosts that's supposed to be more closely aligned with how it is that he's talking from a political perspective, once you cross a certain line, and fellas, this is what I want y'all to pay attention to. This is not a political conversation. This is an example of how women stay on code regardless of what side of the aisle that they're on. When you offend a woman, whether you are a Republican or whether you are a Democrat, when you offend a woman, whether you are white or whether you are black, when you offend a woman, whether you are short or whether you are tall, no matter what it is, those spidey senses tingle and they go into attack mode. They forget whether they married. They forget what side of the political aisle that they're on. They'll forget everything associated with whatever it is that they stand for. But when you say something and you say, listen, she talking about these politicians are over the hill, she's hit the wall. That's basically what Don Lemon said. Yeah, the hyenas come out. Yeah. Yeah. I think Don may be more closely with us than he may be more closely aligned with these men than we thought he is. Let me rewind it a little bit. And then I'm gonna get the whole context again. Let's continue.
This whole talk about age makes me uncomfortable. I think it's the wrong road to go down. She says people, politicians or something are not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry. When a woman is considered to be in her prime in her 20s and 30s and maybe 40s.
What are you talking? Wait.
That's not according to me.
Prime for what?
It depends. I mean, it's just like prime. If you look it up, if you Google when is a woman in her prime, it'll say 20s, 30s, and 40s.
I don't think it was.
Don Lemon, Don. I think he tried to clean that up a little bit once he realized, oh, snaps. I'm on live. I'm not actually watching the Kevin Samuels live stream again. I'm not watching the Kevin Samuels replay. Hey, Don pushed it too far. He said that a woman is not in her prime past her 20s, 30s, and 40s. A woman is not in her prime past her 20s. That's a fact. We going to continue the video. Let's continue.
Talking about Amazon Prime. Later, he tweeted in the afternoon, Sandra, and sent this out.
He said this, Ambassador Haley, the reference I made to a woman's prime this morning was inartful and irrelevant, as colleagues and loved ones have pointed out, and I regret it. A woman's age does not define her, either personally or professionally. I have countless women in my life who prove that every day.
Now, listen to this tweet. Let's reread it again. This is his apology. I'm literally looking at an article right now where women, all of these liberals and women and stuff like that, the ones that supported and loved them the most, fellas, don't slip. This is where Umar Johnson walks a fine line. He makes sure that he does not offend the women that hit the Cash App. Let me say that again. He makes sure that he does not offend the women that hit the Cash App. Shout out to Mike Guest. Mike Guest with the 10 ball on Cash App says, thanks for the early show. I appreciate you, Mike Guest. Thank you for looking out for me. Thank you for holding me down. I'm reading the super chat shortly. He says the reference I made to a woman's prime this morning was inartful and irrelevant. He didn't say it wasn't true, though. He did not say it wasn't true. He said it wasn't relevant. The jokey joke that I cracked on these women wasn't relevant to what we was talking about at that particular time. And it was inartful. I love Don's word salad. Listen, I have never really rocked with Don Lemon, but it's been a couple videos that he been dropping. It's a couple videos that he been dropping that's just been absolutely positively true. He said, listen, it's inartful and it's irrelevant at this particular time, but it ain't necessarily untrue. All right. He says, as colleagues and loved ones have pointed out, other people said it. I regret it. Don, don't lose that bag. Go ahead and be that chameleon over there in CNN. But we need covert Hell Hydra over there at CNN and real men standing up. He said, and I regret it. And a woman's age doesn't define her either personally or professionally. It does define her prime, though. Yo, we need whoever wrote this apology to also work for Ye and to work for Kyrie Irving. I have countless women in my life who prove that every day. Shout out to Don for taking a red pill opportunity moment to be able to throw a little bit of shade and reality towards what it is that we dealing with in life. I think that there's more guys, and again, this speaks to exactly what it is that I'm talking about. There are more guys than you realize, more guys that are more aligned with how it is that the majority of the men see things in these spaces than you realize. They may not necessarily say it. They may not necessarily want to mess up the bag. They may not necessarily want to get canceled. I see a lot of guys that have some visibility, some that don't, some that just have some high-powered jobs. They reach out to me on a regular basis and they get a coaching call just to tell me, Anton, listen, there's some things that you say that I can't say, but we absolutely rocking with you and we rolling with you, big dog. Shout out to Don Lemon. Let's continue.
Is that enough for you as an apology?
Look, this is something that I have faced all of my life. If it was Don Lemon yesterday, it was Whoopi Goldberg the day before, there will be somebody else tomorrow. I have always made the liberals' heads explode. They can't stand the fact that a minority, conservative female.
Did she just say minority, conservative female? What make her a minority? Let me do a little bit of a Google search right now because I need to understand what the heck is going on. Nikki Haley, minority. That woman is white on white. Oh my God. She was the first female governor of Asian American heritage. In 2017, Haley became the first Indian American member of a presidential cabinet. Oh, stop the cap. Oh my God. This is why I can't do it. This is why I can't do it, bro. I'm not going to do it. Ma'am, you are white. I don't care what they tell you. I don't care how people want to be a person of color. I'm a minority. Yo, this is the same feminist talking point. For her to even bring this up shows me that she is not a genuine candidate. I don't care if she's conservative and Republican. I don't care about none of that, bro. In order for you to lean on that, in order to substantiate your argument or your point, as though you're not actually talking to a black man or speaking specifically to a black man, shows me, yo, don't start hitting me with the rainbow. She's brown, she's purple, and all of that. When I look at this TV, and this is the first time that I really started paying attention to her, is when Don Lemon brought her up and brought some visibility to her. She looked like a white woman to me. You are a white woman to me. I do not see a person that is disenfranchised and all of this other type of stuff. Stop it. Stop it with this diversity and inclusion and I'm a minority and you can't stand that I'm a woman and all of this other type of stuff. Woman code. Bro. They got y'all again. I see y'all in the chat. They got y'all again. That looked like a straight up white woman. I don't care if she got 5% or 3% or 7%. But she's of heritage. Let me tell you something. When Tiger Woods was busting down them holes, they was like, that's a black man over there. When Tiger Woods was busting down them holes, they said that that's a black man over there. Call it what you want. That's a black man. Let Obama go over there and start cheating. They not going to be talking about his heritage. They not going to be identifying the Asian side of him. You know, when I see Cam over there, I don't see no Indian or whatever the piss she say she is. I see me a modern black woman. I see me. Y'all want to sit here and pull that card when it's convenient in order for y'all to be able to leverage the situation to come up. I identify with you. I'm a Asian heritage American woman. Man, you talk just like a woman from Alabama. I don't want to hear that junk. Yo, stand on the policies. He never mentioned anything. Again, and I hate the fact that I'm sitting here defending Don Lemon. He never mentioned your ancestry. He never mentioned your color. He said you a woman and you're over the hill according to what Google said. Now, what we'll regularly see and what we'll start to step over as individuals, we'll start to go ahead and start stepping over certain things that they insert into the conversation that wasn't a part of the conversation in the first place. Please, ladies and gentlemen, do not get bamboozled. Please do not find yourself in a space to where you start to substantiate and start to acquiesce over in a person and you start to try to identify with them just because of something that they brought into the conversation that wasn't a part of the conversation in the first place. Class E Beat says she was born and raised in South Carolina. I'm not African. I'm an American. I was born in the good old United States of America in Detroit, Michigan. I'm not African. I'm American. I don't even like it when they say, are you African American? No, I've never been to Africa. I wasn't born there. My father wasn't from there. My father is from Dawson, Georgia. Okay? I'm not from Africa. I'm not. Because if you want to trace all of the different DNA that's linked to all of us, we all from all over the world, if that's the case. Stop using that in order to run in the Victim Olympics. Somebody said it in the chat. Peter Investor says she's playing identity politics. I don't want to hear that nonsense. I don't. I really don't.
Would not be on the Democratic side because they know I pull independents. They know I pull suburban women. They know I pull minorities over to what we are trying to do. And look, he made that comment. I wasn't sitting there saying sexist middle-aged CNN anchors need to have mental competency tests, although he may have just proven that point. What I was saying.
Somebody said her grandparents from India, though. Guess what? Elon Musk's ancestry and his parents, I believe, or his grandparents is from Africa. Did you know that Elon Musk technically is African? Elon Musk is a white man. Did you know Elon Musk, Africa? Musk was born in Pretoria, South Africa, and briefly attended the University of Pretoria before moving to Canada at age 18, acquiring citizenship through his Canadian-born mother. Should I also say that Elon Musk is African? Huh? Do we also identify Elon Musk as South African? Or do we say that that's a white man that's busting down and killing and busting down all of these bags and getting his money? And maybe we should say Elon Musk is African because he got the same mentality towards these hoes as Future. Elon Musk, Nick Cannon, and Future is the same thing. Elon Musk is South. He was born in he's a South African. Elon Musk is more black than you, regardless of what your skin say. Substantiate that for me now. See, you don't want to sit here and argue with me because I don't care what you identify as. I look at you and I see who you really are. And one of the reasons why I say that I rock with people based off of character and also people that's trying to be a chameleon and finesse the system, one of the reasons why I say that I rock with people based off of character is because they then remove all of the identity politics that go along with it, and they just substantiate who it is that they are by what they do on a regular basis. They're not leaning into identity politics in order to try to get you on their side. I see a woman chameleon right here. Y'all learned something new. Now y'all learned something new. Y'all didn't even know nothing about Elon Musk. I read his book. I studied him. I know exactly what it is that he's doing. I study the people that I like that's doing some great things.
The thing is, we need to be transparent. Those elected officials that are making key decisions for us Americans on national security and keeping our kids safe and the debt, yes, we need to know exactly that we're sending people that are mentally competent to do that. But look, the liberals are going to continue to show themselves. They can't stand the fact that I am a Republican and I am a conservative. And you know what? It rolls off my shoulders. I don't think too much about it.
Lies.